Have you ever wondered what would happen if you could copy your entire mind onto a hard drive and throw away your biological body forever? For thousands of years, humans have searched for the fountain of youth, but it turns out the secret to immortality might not be in biology, but in code. We are standing on the edge of a new era where death becomes just another technical problem to solve, rather than an inevitable end. Before we explore the terrifying and beautiful possibilities of a digital afterlife, I have a small request regarding the visuals. Please don't mind if the picture looks different from the narrative, as I generated it using AI to help imagine this futuristic world. Today, we are going to explore what happens when your consciousness unplugs from your brain and plugs into the cloud. Here are 10 mind-bending facts about the digital afterlife, and I want you to tell me which one makes you the most excited or the most terrified. Fact 1. The copy paradox. The biggest philosophical hurdle to mind uploading is the terrifying possibility that the digital version of you is actually just a clone. If scientists scan your brain perfectly and upload it to a computer, you might still wake up in your biological body while a digital copy of you wakes up in the machine. The digital version would have all your memories and truly believe it is you, but the original you would still eventually die. This means mind uploading might not be a way to live forever, but simply a way to create a digital ghost that haunts the internet after you are gone. Fact 2. The concept of griefbots. We are already seeing the early stages of digital immortality through companies that use artificial intelligence to analyze the text messages and emails of deceased people. These programs, known as griefbots, can learn the speech patterns and personality quirks of a lost loved one to hold conversations with the living. While this might offer comfort to some, it raises difficult ethical questions about whether the dead consented to becoming a chatbot. We are entering a world where your grandchildren might be able to text you for advice 50 years after your funeral. Fact 3. Designing your own heaven. If your consciousness exists as software, you are no longer bound by the laws of physics, which means you could potentially design your own reality. You could choose to live in a simulation that looks like a tropical paradise, a fantasy world with magic, or a reconstruction of your childhood home. However, this also introduces the terrifying concept of a digital hell, where a hacker or a glitch could trap a consciousness in a nightmare scenario. The quality of your afterlife might depend entirely on how much money you can afford to pay for the server costs. Fact 4. Substrate independence. Neuroscience is beginning to support the idea that consciousness does not strictly require biological neurons to exist. This concept, called substrate independence, suggests that the mind is like a piece of software that can run on any sufficiently advanced hardware, whether it is meat or silicon. If this is true, it means there is nothing magical about the human brain, and it is simply a very complex machine that we will eventually learn to replicate. Once we break free from our biological limitations, our intelligence could expand infinitely, far beyond what a human brain can currently comprehend. Fact 5. The threat of deletion. In the physical world, dying usually happens due to aging or accidents, but in the digital world, death could happen because someone forgot to pay the electricity bill. A digital afterlife requires physical servers to run, which means your immortality is only as secure as the company hosting your mind. If the company goes bankrupt or the servers crash, thousands of digital souls could be instantly erased from existence. You would be trading the risks of biology for the risks of corporate management and data corruption. Fact 6. Accelerated time perception. Computers process information millions of times faster than the human brain, which could drastically change how a digital mind perceives time. A digital consciousness could potentially experience 1,000 years of subjective time in just a few minutes of real-world time. This could allow you to learn every skill, read every book, and solve complex problems in what feels like an eternity to you, but is only a lunch break for the living. However, if you were bored or suffering, that accelerated time could turn a few seconds of glitching into an eternity of torture. Fact 7. The legal rights of data. Currently, the law treats data as property, but if that data is a conscious human being, our entire legal system will need to be rewritten. We will have to decide if a digital person has the right to own property, the right to vote, or the right to marry a biological human. If a digital mind commits a crime, we would have to determine how to punish a being that cannot be put in a physical prison. This could lead to a civil rights movement fighting for the freedom of uploaded humans against the corporations that own them. Fact 8. Multiple instances. In the digital world, it is incredibly easy to make copies of a file, which means you could potentially split your consciousness into multiple versions. You could send one version of yourself to go to work, another version to travel a virtual world, and another to spend time with family, all at the same time. These different versions would eventually have different experiences and develop into different people. Raising the question of which one is the real you, you could eventually become a collective hive mind of hundreds of different versions of yourself sharing data. Fact 9. The end of privacy. If your mind is uploaded to a server, it means your thoughts, memories, and dreams are technically data that can be read by the system administrators. There would be no such thing as a private thought because the code running your mind could be audited or scanned for specific keywords. Advertisers could potentially inject commercials directly into your dreams or alter your preferences to make you like their products. The sanctuary of your own mind would become a public space monitored by algorithms. Fact 10. The preservation of wisdom. The most positive fact is that digital immortality would prevent the tragic loss of wisdom that happens every time a great thinker dies. Imagine if we could still consult with digital versions of Einstein, Da Vinci, or Steve Jobs to help us solve modern problems. Humanity often repeats the same mistakes because we lose the guidance of the previous generation, but digital immortality would allow us to accumulate wisdom forever. We could build a council of the greatest minds in history who never sleep, never age, and never forget. We have explored 10 aspects of the digital afterlife: the copy paradox, griefbots, designing heaven, substrate independence, the threat of deletion, accelerated time, legal rights, multiple instances, the end of privacy, and the preservation of wisdom. I want you to pause and comment below. If you had the chance to upload your mind today, would you do it? While the risks are high, the most compelling choice here is number 10, the preservation of wisdom, the ability to save the unique experiences and knowledge of humanity from the eraser of death is the ultimate goal of civilization, even if it is just a simulation. Preserving the essence of who we are allows the future to stand on the shoulders of giants who never have to fall. If you want to keep upgrading your brain with mind-bending content, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Your physical body might need sleep, but the algorithm never rests, so click the like button to feed it. I will see you in the next one, hopefully before we all turn into code.